Brad and Brian are not a bunch of bums. Woo. So
I mean, we are a bunch of bums, but that's neither here nor there on this one.
let's talk about what I was thinking about doing right before we started. So I've got a new mic. I've got a this mic plugs into a mixer, which I have to fix the settings and do a bunch of shit for. And I was going to try to make all of that work 5 to 10 minutes before we went live. And then I thought to myself, Brad, you're retarded. You're never going to make this work. And I use the old one that plugs right in. So sometime before now and later this evening when I got to record with Alan, I have to make this work or he will just yell at me. Should I just have have the mic, both mics standing next to each other loud?
Wow, that's powerfully strong.
Oh, I mean, you can I can make it, but you can see it all the time. I was getting ready to plug everything in, and I just went, yeah, nah. See, I'm not muted at all. I'm ready to go. Dude, we got kicked out of Skype. That's how old we are. We were using Skype. And then this is how lame and sucky we are. They stopped having Skype, just died. Like Skype died before we did, which I didn't think was gonna happen.
I also did not think that would ever happen. But you know, when Microsoft goes, "Hey, we're combining these two things together, change up or don't. We don't care."
And then Brian's got his new computer and he's got spaceships in the background.
Yeah. Traveling faster than the speed of me sitting here.
So fast, so strong. We lost the tiebreaker this weekend, Brian.
How did we lose a tiebreaker this weekend?
We went down. The Kalile, Scott Ketchum, the cardiologist mastermind, and Peter Elias went down to Dayton to compete in the Kung Fu Masters Deathmatch Kumite. I have no idea what it's called. Charles ran a great tournament as usual. Thank you, sir. 5-man team tournament where 3 of us, Valkyrie, Gem, and I think we were Team Rocket this time, which is obviously why we didn't win, because Team Rocket never won anything. And
absolutely.
And we 3 teams all went 3-0-2. So there was 3 undefeateds, a lot of ties, and it went down to I think the 4th tiebreaker. And we were sadly 0.28750 seconds away, and we got 2nd place. So it's all.
I mean, congratulations on coming in 2nd. It's nothing to be ashamed of.
I had a great time, and unfortunately I had to be sober guy because of medical reasons, but which does feel really weird. Those models are so much more clear in what I'm gonna do. Because 40K is easy if you're not drunk. Yeah, crazy. I had a really fun list. I want to start talking about that before we go meta stuff. So,
all right. So, what was your list?
So, well, we had some switching around. So I was on Eldar, and then we lost Monic, and we picked up Pete. And Pete's been playing just Eldar since he came back, basically. So we're like, all right, Pete's got to play Eldar, rock it out. Matter of fact, he did super well all weekend. So it put me on something. And I knew that we were going to be playing in teams, multiple teams I knew were going to be bringing horde lists. And I was like, we didn't really have a great matchup into them. And I wanted to have something that was pretty versatile, but I also wanted to play something that I was going to have fun with, and I've played before, or that style. So I went with Vanguard Marines. Bobby G, Marnius Calgar, Company Heroes, kind of the standard, double oath package with that. Then I went 6 Centurions, because even though they can't uppy downy deep strike, they can still uppy downy on the edges. And since I was going to defend, I get to pick my board. So I'm never playing like GW1 where I don't have any lines on the edges. And they did go down 40 points, And then I took 9 Bolter Inceptors. Lyle came up with the last minute call to add a 5-man, what's his face, with the indirect guys, Desolations. because
Yep.
they had tall enough terrain for plunging fire, and I was already setting up to be anti-horde, and then I took lieutenant with combine bolter, a unit of infiltrators, scout squad, and 2 units of eradicators. And I loved playing it. It was super fun, and it was fun to just look at a giant list, a horde, and just dominate them. It also made for some hilarious pairings. We played Gem, and they won the roll off, and their first 2 tables they picked were specifically the tables with plunging fire available, and they took them away from me specifically so I couldn't use them. I was like, God damn it. I was like, these guys are lame if I don't get plunging fire. Give me back my 5 tall ruins. So I was very angry about that. The but I really enjoyed it. I played a lot. Another thing in the meta, nothing is so wildly. Also, well, let me put the asterisk on it too. For picking everything we're gonna pick, I'll give it to Brian Doherty. He contacted a bunch of the teams and said, "Gentlemen's agreement: none of us take Daka Daka or more Daka or whatever the hell it's called. It's dead now, so it doesn't matter. It got punted into the sun." But we said we wouldn't take that, so that's originally what I was going to be taking on that. So, but I still know there's going to be a bunch of horde, and especially because we weren't able to take Daka. You know what I mean? Because that's the one army that was just going to delete the horde armies. So I wanted to take that. And I had a good time playing it. It felt very fun and I enjoyed it quite a bit. And to talk about the meta that I like before we go into the meta, I played 5 different armies. You know what I mean? Even defending on that.
Nice.
Played against Death Guard. I did play against Yanari twice. I played against Yanari twice, Death Guard, uh, Ultramarine, the vehicle build with, all the Ballistic Dreadnoughts, Vindicators, the Predator, not the Predator, the fucking dude that shoots a lot. Pew pew. Uh-oh. Probability $2 super chat. Hey, Brad and Brian, go blue.
All right, so I was waiting for probability to hop in and do this. Today at the store, had a lady come in. She was wearing a Michigan hat.
Yeah.
She pulls out her credit card to pay, and it's an Ohio State credit card.
Oh,
and I was like,
what's happening now?
I was like, hold on. A little bit of conundrum. She was like, my husband went to Ohio State. I went to Michigan. And she was like, she looks at me and she goes, and because Ohio State won, my curse is to use this card to buy everything. And I went,
oh, that's brutal.
So it was quite hilarious.
I love everything about this. There's so many fun things that happen with that. Andy, I've always been 2000 and late, by the way. But what else did God damn it, what's the fucking other thing that I played? I don't know. I played another army. I played something else. I PP'd something else. But man, it was a good time, and I liked that army quite a bit. It was really fun. It felt like, just the ability to bop a unit all over the place. Also, I love that as Uppy Downy. Screw you, Grey Knights, Necrons, other stuff. Stop giving people auto Uppy Downy. Having, to pay for it and be able to tactically take one unit and have to make those decisions is fun. All right, that's my rant about that for just a moment. But
so did you get to play against any horde armies other than I guess Eldar is just MSU, right?
The first Eldar army didn't even have any transports. He brought like a mass ton of shit for Eldar. You know what I mean?
Okay.
The other one was more kind of Raider with the Incubi and stuff like that. The Death Guard. What did I play? Fucking round 4. I did play Horde. I played Tyranids. It actually made a huge difference in that game. Them not giving me plunging fire because they had invasion fleet with 3 Exocrines, 2 Tyrannofexes, but then they took 80 Termagants, so they can 5 up paint them. And because because I couldn't get that +1 AP, I killed the 2 of the units down to like 4 twice. Just not having that other +1 made it so I didn't completely wipe them. And because of the Turvagon and the Strat, they just went, boop, here's 12 more. It's just like, oh, God damn it. And So like the rest of the team, Lyle took Lions Custodes. Kyle was on Shadow Legion with the Uppy Downy Bloodthirster. Scott was playing Sisters, Hallowed Martyrs, and then Pete played a Warhost list with 10 Dark Reapers that they could fire and fade, 10/5/5, Fire Dragons, 3 Warp Spiders, Lycus, and who am I forgetting there? Oh, Jane Czar. Jane Czar with some Banshees.
Nice,
So like
nice.
he did really well. I always love my Eldar, but so I was like, you should play this. It feels cool. But but excuse me. But the event was super fun. There was, like I said, there was a lot of difference in armies. I like to see. There was a lot of Custodes there. A lot of Custodes there. That was the one thing that you saw like a huge amount of in their armies. Uh, the one list I have to give props over the weekend. Randy played, and I've been saying it for a while. He played Kroot, the Kroot detachment, and he played just mass Kroot, and he brought 3 units of 6 Rampagers, 3 units of 2 Krutox Riders, um, 2 Farstalkers, and like 7,000 Kroot or whatever with the Lone Spears and shit. And he just 20-0'd everybody. It was crazy. I also think he went first on like 4 or 5 of his matchups. So he's just putting Farstalkers just up in your butt immediately and just jamming you in your zone. He was just putting people to wildly. I have to say though, everybody came away from that game just going, "That sucked." That wasn't even fun. Like I literally never left my deployment zone. I actually just sat there and did nothing the entire game. So,
I will say that Custodes Meta Monday points out that they're the most played faction since the data slate. It doesn't surprise me for a couple different reasons. Number one, they're just solid and strong. They're also, for traveling, they're one of the easiest armies to go anywhere with.
100%. Well, also the thing about Custodes is, you have the Lions detachment's just badass. I mean, +1/+1 to wound.
Mhm.
Yes, yes, okay. You know what I mean? So they can just put the beats on stuff. Also, war. It's funny because like you look at that list, and you're like, I'm gonna do all these different things, and then you're like, all right, here's 15 wardens because they still have a 4 up, 4 up. Like that's just hard to get away from.
Yep.
You're like, hey man, what happened? I made a lot of 4 up, 4 ups, and nothing died, and I punched him in the face. You're like, oh okay. So it's I wonder about their win rate because I did see a lot of people running a lot of different. Out of the Custodes, while there was Custodes on I think every team, there was a lot of different types of Custodes. There was no alarm. There was no Caladius tanks. There was people running. A couple different teams ran. I think 14 Alaris in it. So
Nice.
they
I,
had some really different shit.
it's a fun army. It's probably one of the easier armies to hobby and to get looking nice. It's not super super hard, which is a really good thing.
So I do have a picture for you. I'll leave it to the end. So yeah, I shaved Kyle's head over the weekend, and we've got an excellent picture where I'm about 2/3 of the way through. He looks fantastic. So, but we'll definitely use that at the end of the stream. That'll be a
Nice.
teaser trailer on that.
And of
So
course, 15 minutes into the stream, please like and subscribe to the channel. It helps out
what?
our metrics and helps us get going.
I guess we're done for the evening because I'm about to have a heart attack from us doing that.
You remember something every once in a while.
That
But
is
no,
true. Uh,
it's it is one of the things of I think this meta is especially now that DACA is limited. I think the meta is fairly balanced. I think DACA was holding back Yanari just a hair, and I think we have to give it a couple of weeks to see where things shake out on that. But I think it's going to be a pretty overall balanced meta.
I want to see where Yanari is after you don't have DACA, but also we've had Emperor's Children on deck for a month and a half now.
Yep.
So like that's legal what this weekend?
Yeah, pretty much.
And I'm sure everybody's got their list, ready to rock on that. So I actually think that they're going to make an immediate impact because anybody that wanted to play Emperor's Children's had 5 to 6 weeks of here's the new models. Go ahead and build them. You know what I mean? Before they're actually able to put them on.
Yeah.
Don't put. Hold on. I gotta care. I gotta. Where's my? Don't put that evil on me. Did I move it to the bottom? There we go. You put that
Don't
evil
put
on
that
me,
evil
Ricky
on
Bobby.
me, Ricky Bobby. I mean, that new drop pod, by the way, the fact that it's also getting a new data sheet, which makes me hopeful that they've listened to some of the things we wanted in drop pods, is nice. And the fact that now it's, hey, this is how the drop pod comes down. Those doors are open. This is what its footprint is. This is where you measure from. Yay.
I'm gonna give you two
And
seconds.
the fact that the box comes with 2 drop pods.
Hold on. I'm gonna give you the. You can give me all the reasons the drop pods are good. I'm gonna go on my quick rant of
All right, go
why
for
the
it.
drop pod can get punted into the sun. This thing is wildly big still. The doors come out. They still count. We're playing GW terrain, which has specific choke points that are made so that vehicles can get through them, and they're at certain places with a deep strike vehicle that literally does the I'm a star pose. You can make this is so valuable. If this isn't wildly overpriced, taking a couple, I would take them for sure just to go nanny nanny noo noo, keep your stuff in the background. You know what I mean? It's a vehicle. You can't run through it.
I like the idea of the drop pod being there. I like the idea of seeing something iconic coming back into the meta, right? We've seen the Land Raider come back in, and of course, we're celebrating I think, the 25th anniversary of the Land Raider this year, with the new sculpt, quote unquote, the same sculpt for the last 25 years. Uh, so that's kind of fun. I'm looking forward to it. The thing I like about this, number one, the Stormbolter and Havoc launcher are above the guys' heads, because that was Trey's dumb.
Remember they were
I like
just.
that they.
Remember they were just
I like.
solid.
Yeah, and I like the part that it says it was a colossal safety hazard. Yeah, it was bad. It was a stupid choice.
So what do they? They don't really say what the rules are here. Does it
No, they say that it's coming out. They say it's easier to build because if you ever built a drop pod, the thing was a goddamn nightmare to build, and it had the worst mold lines in the dumbest spots in the free world.
Yeah. Well, also it had no rule. People were just making their own. I opened 3 doors and closed 3 doors. It's just.
Well, yeah. I mean, the line that I like, this kit is significantly easier to build, and we'll have a new data sheet which clarifies where everything gets measured from, leaving little room for creative rules and interpretations. That right there made me as a TO who has had to deal with the drop pod for a number of years going, just bring it in with the doors closed. We're not doing any of this shit. Or bring it in, the doors are open, don't count the fucking doors. Those were pretty much the way that it got ruled for the most part. It was bad that there was like at one point a 1-page FAQ from WTC on the goddamn drop pod.
Oh, it was so whack.
Yeah.
The thing is with it, I don't mind it, the doors and stuff. If this only had, like, if it didn't have doors at all, I would like it a lot more. It just takes up a bananas amount of space. So that's my thing. If it just came as the drop pod and the doors didn't count for anything, um, I would like it a lot more. It's always had an issue with the doors. It's just a cheap thing that takes up a monster amount of space. So, also, are you going to be able to charge over the doors, or the doors just part of the vehicle? So I touch the doors and I'm touching the vehicle because that's still crazy.
We don't know yet, right? We don't know the answer to that yet. My theory is, if I was going to do it, it would be like, hey, guess what? The hull counts. The doors are just there.
Also, Brian, the list that you just said is the one we were talking about last night on the road back from Dayton. It's so easy to make that Emperor's Children army. That thing's just like they've got so many good things. You're just like, yeah, I want that, I want that, I want that. Like 10-man infractor, yep. Some tormentors, yep. Exultant, Also, the princes
Yep.
are boss mode. So
Yeah, it looks really good. I do not take credit for that list. That list was given to me by TJ Lanigan because I had one of my customers was like, I really want to play Emperor's Children, but I just want to play something that will be good out the gate, and I don't want to have to buy a bajillion models.
that, right,
So
yes, that right there is
I,
what I'm
I
talking about.
I talked with TJ and went, hey, can you help me out with this one? Because I've read the book, but I have not spent any time building lists. And he helped me out with that. Let my buddy proxy up some stuff. We played a little quick game with it. It actually was really good.
It's
So
a
it
super
was
good
nice.
list, dude. They also
Yeah.
shoot pretty hard. Also,
Yeah.
I'm going to go to Eddie's comment. This is good. The doors in lore do blow off because they're supposed to clear around them when they get out of the drop pod. So yes.
All right. So again, my hope is that when that comes in, it throws mortal wounds on like one unit within 9 inches or within
that
10 inches
that
or
would be
whatever.
lore specific. That would be awesome, actually.
That would be awesome. I not a lot of wounds, like 2 mortals, nothing
Yeah,
crazy.
but that's the whole thing. Is they're
You
supposed to
know.
just clear out so that they can walk out. You know what I mean? So they
Yep.
immediately walk off and go. It's pretty sweet though.
I
Oh,
love that it only comes open. That'll be one of my favorite things about that model. I want clear and concise rules on that damn thing because even now, no one brings them right now, but there's no clear and concise rules.
you know what? I can't get a write-in pull for this. All right, in chat, I want people to push it in. Who's going to be the top 3 army? I'm going to let you go first, Brian. And I want some chats to go in here. What are the top 3 armies in the meta going to be after we get Emperor's Children? Obviously, I haven't seen enough of either the World Eaters or the Nurgle Leaks to have an opinion, but we know what Emperor's Children is. As soon as Emperor's Children comes out, we've got no more Mordaka. What are the 3 top factions? We won't even go detachments, factions.
Custodes, Space Marines, Astra Militarum. I think that's, and I don't think it's by a wide margin in any way, shape, or form.
Uh, KR define top event wins. No, I don't ever do anything by event wins to be honest with you. Just because of the fact that you get people that are real faction specific a lot of times, and they're going to win no matter what they're playing on that. Just the power level. What do you think has the highest power level? Which, if you had people of equal skill playing it, would be the best. So if you took all factions and you said, I'm putting the best player of that faction on their faction to win a tournament. Yeah, I guess it's still tournaments.
Oh, then I got to oh, that's tough. Using that as the caveat. So I still think Eldari Space Marines, and then that third one, oh, that is a tough one. Because I think there's a tie between Demons, Custodes, and Astra Militarum. Man, that's tough. Although I think Emperor's Children are also really strong.
Lyle, top 3 armies, 3 different detachments for Emperor's Children.
I think Emperor's Children are really good. I don't know if they're going to be the top of the meta, but I think they're going to be really good.
You're gonna get Kyle all worked up. He felt that over the weekend that his demons were very mid. He said they were very mid.
I think at least in my opinion, although the Bloodthirster of Craziness is very good, I don't know how much. I again don't know the list you're running at all, Kyle. I think there's some things in that list that need to be Chaos Space Marines, and it sounds like there's not a ton of things going in there
No,
that are Chaos Space
it's a
Marines.
full demon. The only thing that I saw was ACDCs, Cursed Cultists with Dark Communes were going in there.
And I think they need the. I think you can go demons with Havocs and be bringing those Havocs in with las cannons to take care of some of the things that demons have problems with.
I can see that just because of the fact you can't shoot it because of Bellicor.
Yep.
Because everything that goes into Shadow Legion, whether it's Chaos Space Marine or demons, is Shadow Legion, and the new Bellicor wording says that anything Shadow Legion gets benefited from his aura.
KR, I completely agree with you, and only seeing it in play once so far, the new unit for World Eaters is super strong and does make them better.
I can't. I mean that thing's gonna be nasty. I
Yep.
mean, the easiest thing to do is just put some shit right in front of their scouts. Now you can't do that. So
Yep.
cool, but
That was always attacked with Tyranids. Was I would be like, well, the lictors can slow them down for a few minutes, and now it's like, oh, well, I put a lictor over here. Well, great, I put my infiltrator over here, and you go,
I
oh,
mean,
they're
think
still going to get
of those
forced.
guys being able to scout with reckless abandon on search and destroy. Holy shit. You know
Well,
what I mean?
and yeah, there is a lot of good there, a lot of good with that unit.
I mean, you're literally looking at it going, "Hey man, the Exalted are sitting next to you going, "What are you guys thinking about this fight?" You're like, "Oh shit."
Let me just stage my army behind these buildings on turn one, and yeah, I dare you to come out and come towards these objectives.
Yeah, it's crazy because you got to think that, if you deploy like super turtled up, you can be safe from that first turn, but like cool, you don't score any points. So,
Yeah,
welcome to
you you
zero
almost have
primary.
to you almost have to dedicate, like when they put those infiltrators down, you're like, okay, so that flank is theirs. I'm gonna go over here
That's what I'm
and try
saying
and
though.
play the game this way.
You can do that on other deployments, but man, search and destroy, you're just like,
Oof,
cool.
yeah,
I guess I'll be in this tiny box. You know what I mean?
I'm over in this corner. Yeah, thanks.
Ooh, the return was foretold by the ancients. Great to catch a live for a change. Yeah, well, we were taking turns trying to see who could have worse health.
Yeah.
So, we're very
last week
serious
was
about this.
last week was definitely me trying to have the worst health possible.
We just we rock it out. So
Yeah.
you're like the stream that has the most chance of someone dying on lives TV. You're like, right here, baby. Tune in,
It is
tune in for the
true.
fucking the knowledge. Stay for the imminent death chance.
All right, so Brad, why don't you flip back to looking at that meta for us?
Let's go down let's do the events real quick because I
Yeah.
did think that there was a lot of different shit that went on. So
Oh yeah,
we had a
absolutely.
big tournament in Germany. We had Imperial Knights 6-0, CSM Raiders 6-0. We had a ton of different shit. Uh, Eldari, Tau, Demons, Tyranids, Blood Angels, Emperor's Children, CSM, and Eldari in the top 10. We had 155 players down in the End All Cyber JC's tournament over in Maryland. Space Marine Ironstorm 6-0, Chaos Demons Shadow Legion 6-0, Chaos Knights 6-0. Excuse
Awesome.
me. The Beer Hammer GT. I just like the idea of that, the sound of that. Creations of Bile and Shadow Legion went 5-0. Sorry, Space Marines. I'm never going to stop seeing Get the Fuck Out when I see Gladius Task Force. Also went 5-0. Uh, Shadow Legion. I don't know what you're doing with your Shadow Legion, man, but these guys are apparently just winning all kinds of tournaments. Shadow Legion 5-0. Guard combined forces. I've seen a lot more Guard combined now that they kicked Breadshed away. Doing really well on that. And then we had Plague Company going 5-0. Rock solid. And then for all of you that said that Space Wolves need some juice, if you just go to California, Champions of Rust going 5-0.
Nice.
Spain said, let's still make DACA legal, not do the changes. Boo. So these are all 44s. Where's the one down in Tennessee? Is that
You already scrolled past it.
Oh, we already
You
scrolled
already
past it.
scrolled past it. Yep.
Ah, whatever. I'm going down to the, the downs. All right. You know what? Screw that. We're going to talk about Joe's takeaways for the weekend. So DACA's dead. We don't need to talk about
Scroll
it.
back up.
What? I'm just using like my Blair Witch cam scrolling right now. Just gonna make everybody nauseous. I mean, the name of the dead show is Death Watch Live. Oh man, you know what? Hold on. Before we go anywhere, I am going to give a little tidbit of for KR. How did Adepticon teams? Since we heard nothing but crickets. I mean, I immediately had to go have a heart procedure afterwards, so I wasn't ready to go. But we placed second again. We got best appearance. We lost to Matt Aaron, Butters, Folger, and Kyle. Congratulations, Kyle. in the gang. Matt Aaron, of course, had a beautiful army because that's just what he does. They took first overall. Uh, we played and split tables, and then we went into the last round, and they were on table one, and we were on table two with our matchups. And I was like, we got a chance. We're really gonna rock that out. And Kyle and company was playing JD from Away Games and a bunch of knights, and we played Matt Root's team that had four more Dacalis. No, I tied my side, and the other side did not have as good of a time. And second place it was. It is true. We were painting. You saw my updates. I did look back as I updated, every couple hours, and I noticed that my last update was like 2 something in the morning, and I was like, "We are never gonna win." It's like so late. Like, and I'm talking like late. I was just again when Brad's painting part of an army, shit's going down. I was given all the scrub things. I was the king of painting bases and dry brushing white on things. Like, don't fuck this up. You too, brother. I loved it. I wish I could have spent a little more time in Adepticon, but we were so behind. We just did so much.
Yeah.
So we had a couple people. We had Reese came over to the house. It was nice seeing him. I haven't seen him for a hot minute. Kramer came in, literally hung out with us for a day just to hang out. He got boned. His work, basically, the HR department went, "Hey man, you know that vacation you have approved? Well, it's not." He's like right before the tournament. He was just like, "Oh, cool, thanks." But that was our Adepticon thing. I think this army that we put on the board, Brian, was my favorite army I put down in teams ever.
Nice.
We did the conversions were really cool. The dinosaurs, everything was sized perfectly. That was the biggest thing for me. A lot of times you have a conversion, you get awkward looking models, cool but like too big or too small kind of thing.
Mhm.
Everything like was really cool. I'm also, I mean, obviously, I'm a huge Eldar fan, and I love Exodites, so
Yeah.
I put them on.
It's a shame that I missed Adepticon this year, but my body decided it didn't like me.
It,
Anyways, so it was it was a good choice not to go this time. Uh, but I will 99% be there next year, and hopefully I'll be helping out again. Or if I can find 3 willing participants to go and be a team with me, it'd be fantastic.
it's my favorite tournament. The team tournament for Adepticon is still the best because it makes you do everything that 40K is about. You know what I mean? They have spirit, which basically is your sportsmanship and everything, but you have a theme. You effectively have a comp, but not as much as it was anymore because you can kind of bring hammer shit more so than you ever could. But
Well,
then you,
Brad, what we could do. I mean, this may sound weird because we don't want to play in champs, right? I mean,
oh god, I'll die.
that's it sounds like a death sentence. But I'm pretty sure if we talk to Hank and crew, we could probably get a narrative event there.
Yes, I would do that in a second. The champs was fantastic for the guys, but like it was funny because I'm not gonna, great. Him and Conan played in the finals. I told Folger, I go, my nightmare is what you did, which would have been he played the champs 4 on day one, 4 on day 2, then played teams, and then at the end of Saturday he played in the finals and then didn't win and barely. I'm like 9 games of 40K plus 5 games of teams in 4 days. I, they would have shot me. I'd be crawling away. I just, oof.
I would not have made it through the second day. I would have just been like, no, I'm good, thanks. I'm done.
It's but
I would have walked.
and that's the thing though is the 4 days of super late gaming. That's just too.
Yeah.
You don't get to do anything else though. You know what I mean? I want to hang out with
Yeah.
my friends and act stupid. That's the whole point.
That's I would love to coordinate and put on a 40K narrative with the narrative rules that I've been working night and day, it feels like, on trying to get done. Uh, and put that together at Adepticon. It'd be super fun to do. That would be just a riot.
Like I said, I'm looking forward to doing narrative this year. Those guys always look like they're having the best time
Yeah,
ever.
absolutely.
Exactly, Matt. Hey, got actually stupid. Best part of big tourneys. So yeah, I love that shit. You know what I mean? It's fantastic. Tell me why Death Watch is still doing well when everybody said they were supposed to be dead.
Um, I just think in the current meta, they're strong. I'm bad with the kill team names. The jump pack kill team.
Well, you've got the Indominator.
This
They're probably. I mean, they just those guys kill
they're
infantry like
just
madmen.
solid.
Still,
Yeah, and it's I don't want to say it's 100% an infantry meta because we see knights and that doing well. But man, if they draw a lot of infantry based lists, especially if they draw Xenos based lists, they just pick them up. I mean, it is great.
oh, dude, dressed up as Ken dolls. They looked fantastic at Adepticon. By the way, I could not stop. It also, I blame you guys on the fact that I kept singing for the entire day. I'm just Ken the whole time in my head. It's like, God damn it, that's there permanently now.
I'm
So,
lucky I'm lucky that Greg's in my local area now, so it's really nice.
uh, the talk about armies. I want to do them both at the same time. Thousand Sons Drakari, Thousand Sons and Drakari. He's like goes 37% win rate, but 2 event wins. Two armies where if you're really excellent at them, you can crush. But if you just pick either one of those up as a random army, whew, tough to get results. You have to
Yep.
be a master of those armies for sure.
Yeah. It's tough when you're an army specialist, and I will always use Scary as the greatest example of this. That army has gotten hit with nerf upon nerf upon nerf, and then here's a little tidbit, and he just goes, "Oh, you gave me something! Yay, I'm happy!"
Yeah.
And he never complains and just moves forward and adjusts to that meta and does phenomenal with it because he understands his army inside and out and knows fairly well what everyone else's does.
He's also super precise. So
Oh, absolutely. He's one of the most precise players I've seen on the table.
yeah, just always just like beep beep beep. I always like the fact that he's very precise, but he always tells you exactly what he's doing, which I like quite a
Yep. And he's super fun to play against. You get a great game, competitive, friendly, fair, everything you want on the tabletop.
bit. Yeah, he's just a nice dude.
Yep.
So like what you're saying, Thousand Suns, 58% over the weekend, but they've been all over the place because they're 48%. Even with that 58%, they're 48% for 4 weeks. It, I'm not even bothering with that. They're getting a new book. Who cares? You know what I mean?
Yep.
We'll see. It is what is it? World leaders. Also, real quick on the side because there's zero chance I can stay on one topic for any because I have the attention span of a gnat. We were supposedly getting, Emperor's Children, World Leaders, Thousand Sons, Death Company or Death Guard in that order.
Yep. And they should all be out.
Yeah, but are
If
we
GW
getting
does the stuff,
wolves at
Emperor's
some point in time?
Children's Emperor's Children's in 2 weeks,
Well, I know that.
right?
So
Well,
what?
less than 2 weeks, a
Yeah,
week away from being on the tabletop officially. Then I would assume we're going to get two of the Chaos armies at the same time, and then a couple weeks later the third one, and then
where
you
are
fall
wolves in
into.
there though? They
But I
they
think
showed us
wolves
all
are
their wolf stuff.
they're right after.
You think
Got to
they're
have
still
something to
going to
fight
get?
the Chaos.
Well, I thought they were like weaving them in at some point in time. I would.
No, it felt like, at least the way it sounded to me,
All
it
right.
felt like they were the next up after the Chaos.
Let me tell you what they should do. This is the word of Brad. The Wolfmaster says, "Give me a duo release of Thousand Suns and Space Wolves. Give me a
That would be
give
fantastic.
me a battle box. Like the Indominus box. Give me a huge battle box of Thousand Suns and Space Wolves. Take my money. Come on, man. That would be
Yeah.
amazing. Also, could go right with the new campaign, the new tournament packet. You know what I mean? Furthering on the story
That's
of it.
that's the thing I'm looking forward to the most. Like I've written two packets for events. I wrote the one for ours and then the one for Salt City already, and I'm going, all right, I got everything done but missions because I don't know the data when this is coming out. Like I can't give you table layouts yet. I can't give you missions because I don't know when this thing's gonna fall. Does it fall before, does it fall in April? I don't know.
I was saying.
Does it fall? I mean, now it's going to fall in May because it made it through April. But like there's one more release before I have to very much, actually there's 4 more releases that I will find out about before basically list due dates start dropping in for events. And I'm just waiting, hoping, praying that everything hits.
I'm ready to go.
And of course,
what did
we
I
do
just
have the
say?
it's like we do have the Motor City Major coming up.
Hold on, let me pull this
So,
over. Bam!
100%. Please sign up for that today. If anybody wants to know what the terrain looks like, it's the same stuff that is used for WTC, just in a GW style format. Really nice terrain. Brad's played on it quite a few times. It's great terrain. Everything's got nice cutouts. We will be good to go. We still have quite a few tickets left, so help us pay for our venue and not lose it.
Don't make
John
me lose
money.
Don't make John make me pay
$1
for himself for like the next 600 years. I'll have to pay him $1 a day for the rest of my life.
But we're gonna be doing very well with that.
Clicking off. So had to hit it up. I'll probably do it again at the end. So
absolutely.
I
want to talk about something. Can I talk about something I have coming up? Not just an event.
Hell yes, you can.
Not something I'm promoting because the event's sold out. Zuber, who's probably in chat somewhere with us, and I are judging one of the most prestigious teams tournaments, Battle for Salvation, coming up in a few weeks.
The team?
The 8-man team. I actually have been listening to, because I have a 40-minute drive into work every day, so I've been listening to some podcasts, and man, there are going to be some heavy hitting teams there. It's going to be super competitive. Joe from War Games Live is going to be there broadcasting it live. So that first weekend in May, tune in. You'll probably see my fat ass lumber across the stream a few times here and there.
They still in the 3rd floor of the mall?
They're still in the 3rd floor of the Palisades Mall in West Nyack, New York. Yeah, it's massive. It's the 2nd biggest mall in New York. It is gonna be an amazing time, and of course, actually, Zuber, it's right next to the ice rink. Because I can tell you, when we were there last year, it got a little toasty because it was like that hot early spring time where like the AC's not on yet, so we all kept running into the ice rink to cool off a little bit. But it's going to be absolutely fantastic.
I love every part of that. We got lost in the
mall
last year. Brian ended up paying $20 to show us how to leave. Feel free to expand on that one, Mr. Horton.
So it was, number one, we went out to dinner, and we went to a different part of the mall, and I had no freaking clue where we were. And we were just trying to find our way back, and there's a guy there cleaning the floors, and I said, hey, do you know how to get to X? Because I remember where, what exit we were located at. He goes, yeah, I can give you directions. I'm like, look, if you give me accurate directions that get me there without getting lost, I will give you this $20 bill. And the dude was like, all right, so you go down here, you do this, you do that, do this, and get us out. And I'm like, here's the $20. Hopefully I make it out. and the guy's directions were absolutely perfect. So it was a very nice thing.
Corey coming in with the old why you gotta talk about old shit? And I had an entire cast that said I was wrong. Still never lost to it. Screw you.
Hey, look, I will always say this. If you understand how to play against stuff and you know what your list does and can remember your rules, you can beat a lot of things that you are apparently not supposed to.
True story.
So, just saying. Yeah, it's very much, that's a true story, because I watched DACA lose to, Hammer the Emperor. I've seen a lot of things lose to top meta, beat top meta armies because they knew what their army did, they knew what that army had, and went from there.
Also, it's still that reveal. I'll never get over that. That reveal was terrible. And then the very a week later, after I said that it was meh, they released the entire rules for Eldar, and I was like, "Oh God, that's."
And then we all went, "Well,
that's gonna stay with me for a while."
At least until the next edition, when you screw up one of the other reveals.
No, I lost a raider in the elevator in Atlantic City.
Yeah.
That goddamn elevator ate my fucking radar. That wasn't even. Ah, I'm gonna
Anyway,
get my cheat again.
but so Brad, what are you looking for outside of Eldar? Because I know you just love Eldar, right? What other army list right now are you juiced to try going into this meta? That's something you haven't been playing right now.
Emperor's Children, and I've never played Emperor's Children. I really like how they play. I think that they're a very well balanced army. They've got tons of speed. They've got good shooting, but most of their shooting is short range. You have to really position it. I think it's a really player's player type of army where you can utilize your player skill and really force your will on the table. You know what I mean? You have tons of agency. I like armies that you have a ton of, where you position things. Like there's a lot of armies that just have, I'm super strong. I have, a ton of dice at strength 5,000, +1 to wound. You know, I like armies that you can really, that matters a ton, your positioning and where your angles and everything are. So I like that army quite a bit. And after that, I think I want to do some Emperor's Children. And then I really want to see what Space Wolves. I love Space Wolves. You know what I mean? I want to see what they do when they put the Space Wolves out. I'd like them to be not a derp Thunderwolf cavalry type thing. I'd like them to be infantry again. I really
I mean,
enjoyed playing him at the end of ninth.
I will say if the so for people who don't notice these things, and it's one of those I notice it because I'm by 40K boxes all day and all night. They have changed the way they're packaging boxes, right? So if you look, anything that you think is getting discontinued, where you see new boxes come in, and you don't see that faction symbol on the edge of the box, there's a chance that that may be going away. Maybe a chance that they haven't updated that box yet. But like, I just got in all full restock on Space Wolves because people are afraid that some of the kits that they currently have that they wanted to flush out are going away. So, like, the Thunderwolf Cavalry got a new box. So, for those people who are nervous that the Thunderwolf Cavalry are going away, those got a new box, right? The the only thing that I'm semi worried about going away, in my head was, oh well, the triple dreadnought thing's got to be going away, right? Just seems like they are pushing everything towards that.
So you would
Came in this week.
you take Murder Fang away.
Yeah, came in this week with the new box. So I'm just going, don't think that's going away. So I'm like, I would assume it's a lot. Anything that's fine cast, guaranteed that is not coming back.
I was just about to say it, but you could say that for everyone. If you're getting a book and you have a fine cast model, it's going away.
It's gone.
Just
going away.
Assume it. Yeah.
So I mean, it's going to be nice to see what they do with it, what changes they make, what units they allow, what units they don't allow. Because there's going to be stuff that is, hey, look, that's you can take this out of the Space Marine book. You can take this out of the Space Marine book. It was redundant to have a Space Wolf version and a Space Marine version. So we'll see where it lands.
You think they'll keep Sky
looking forward to
shit,
it,
though? Sky Claws and Blood Claws? Or are they going to just have Blood Claws?
I think it's going to be Blood Claws and then Blood Claws with jump packs. I mean, it's just a change of data sheet.
I mean, I would just love to play Space Wolves again the way I was playing at the end of night. There was just so much infantry on the board. Yeah,
you're not getting the 800 free fucking combi.
Everything's free now, bro. Come on.
Man, that list was stupid. I didn't want to talk about that, but anyway.
I'm just saying that's style. Maybe not that exact list. I'm just saying, but
I think you're gonna see it go to an infantry list. I think you're gonna see, some good fun there. I mean,
I did get yelled at. I gotta tell this. Over the weekend, Sam Dayton was playing his Space Wolves. He's playing a real aggressive 30 jump pack army, blah blah. And he just pulls me aside out of nowhere and goes, "Fuck you, Brad." I'm like, all right, feel free to continue with that, or you just yelling and insult me. He's like, not only did you not give me credit, you played my models and then got my models nerfed before I got to play my models.
All right, Brad. So Zuber has a legit question for you. We have a buddy who's going to be playing an army in honor of one of our club members that passed away tragically. And he's trying to run a tribute army, and he wants to run Wind Rider Host because that's what the guy really loved for Eldar. What would you put together for that list?
I would definitely do minimum 3 big bike units with 3 units of warlocks. Ignoring cover is just huge. With that, I'd bounce around. I'd still bring, certain fire dragons and dark reapers are still just kind of autos for that. I would still bring that, but I would do probably a Farseer Skyrunner also to get the real feel for that. Um, with that, I'd probably, and this is the only detachment I would bring it, but I might bring a 1/2 Warwalkers because you're not getting a ton of AP, but you are ignoring cover in your AP1. So you could just put down that extra AP plus ignoring cover. You're putting almost everybody on their invul, you know? So I do that for sure. Um, I think Jane's or Lycus with a unit of Warp Spiders goes in every list that can take them. Obviously not Yanari, they can't take Phoenix Lords. But that unit's just a game changer, so that goes in every list for me. Plus, the model's badass. Also, the Exarch with the Power Blade array looks super fucking cool. That thing just looks badass. He's way cooler than the old Exarch. So he's like Doc Ock. Excuse me.
Tweak.
I'm only promoting the 40k major. Hold on, I'm putting it back on the board. Blah blah. Brian and I want you to help us be awesome.
Yep. So we are working on getting a golden ticket. All the paperwork's been filed. We're just waiting for the final approval. It is going to be a good time. We are going to be using whatever the current missions are. So if the new missions come out 2 weeks before that, we will definitely be using them. If they come out, if they come out a week beforehand, we will be using them. Trust me on this one.
We did lose ourselves for a minute when I started coughing. So apparently my cough was so hard that it broke my internet, which isn't hard because I think I'm tethered to the internet by a can and a string.
Yeah. So again, we will use the most recent missions as long as they come out a week before the event. If they come out the week of the event, no. But the week before, absolutely. And trust me, I will order enough at my store to make sure that we can have one for everybody, and we will try our damnedest. So please sign up for the event. It's going to be a good time. If you are a Canadian and thinking of coming down, please feel free to message me directly for the Canada Elbows Up discount, and I will take care of you directly.
What does that even mean?
Canadians know. Basically, it's a nice way of saying we support Canada and not the ridiculousness of everything that's going on in the world right now.
Elbows up, elbows down, elbows sideways. Heard you decided to get a free Vermintide box. That was such did everyone that was a store owner just get 5,000 Vermintide boxes? Because those were price support a lot for a lot of things I saw.
The Scaventide box came everywhere.
Yeah, I was just wondering because it was just crazy. I was like, that is definitely the preferred price support for a ton of events. And I saw that. You're like, what about this Vermintide box? You like, you guys being forced? Like, wink twice if you need help from selling this. The Tuchik.
And of course, we are being a Green Banner Events partner event. And Green Banner Events runs a ton of stuff, and they're really nice folks. So give them a check out. Stephen Corrales and crew are Green Banner Events.
We're gonna do
which is fantastic.
I like everything.
And of course, and of course, I'm gonna talk about where I work. It's www.theartstorecny.com for all your Warhammer needs. We have a ton of Emperor's Children still available for pre-order. GW sold out of a ton of stuff. We still have a reasonable amount. So pop on over and pre-order your Emperor's Children's today. We offer a 15% off discount every day, plus a rewards program. So please check it out.
Hold on, I got to make sure I have your link. I'm going to accept.
I can throw it in chat there.
I got it. I'm on it. Don't ask any questions. Always follow the links that I put in chat. You're like, oh God. Oh. All the things.
Some of the stuff. And of course, we'll be talking about the Salt City GT real soon. That is also up for sale, the saltcitygt.com. So check that out as well.
Also, narrative at the boys.
Absolutely. That we're a little ways away from. That's not until November.
It will be all of the stuff, some of the things. But on that note, to all, farewell. Queensway.
And have a good night.